Chapter 8 Unearthed. 3 weeks had passed since Ares, Atheros, and Quan first uncovered the entrance to the ancient temple hidden beneath the Amazon's lush surface. Within that short time, a full archaeological excavation had taken shape around the site, employing hundreds of Amazonian researchers, archaeologists, geologists, and local labourers to unearth a once-forgotten wonder dating back to humanity's last golden age. From a vantage high on the canyon's rim, Ares stood with Quan, who had coordinated the project's daily operations. Surveying the lively scene below, Ares peered at a hand-drawn site diagram that Quan held, occasionally swiping beads of sweat from his brow. 12 structures have been unearthed, Ares asked, studying the diagram's meticulous lines. Quan nodded. Yes, every new building we've found expands out around that central temple. You, Atheros, and I initially explored. He gestured beyond the chart, directing Ares' attention to the ongoing excavations. From their vantage, they could see clusters of workers carefully brushing away layers of soil and rock. Each of these structures faces toward the main temple, like spokes radiating from its core. So, an entire town, Ares mused. Quan's tone carried a spark of excitement. Yes, it seems every dwelling was equidistant from the city's centre. Ares took a moment to absorb this. I have news about the soil analysis, he said, withdrawing 2 small vials from his satchel. One soil sample appeared significantly darker than the other. Normally, when humans disturb or bury land, the striations show uneven coloration. In undisturbed layers, you see a gradual transition from the darker topsoil to the lighter strata beneath. But here, he paused, indicating the mixed sample. It's as if someone deliberately buried this site. Quan's expression darkened with curiosity. Why would anyone do that? That's the great mystery, Ares agreed quietly. He then drew out the strange artifact they had discovered on the temple altar. I've studied this piece all week, yet I still don't know its purpose. Quan examined the device with the same fascination he'd shown since day one. Despite hours of observation, neither he nor Ares had gleaned much insight. What progress have you made? Quan asked. Ares took a step back, revealing a subtle mechanism. Watch! He pressed 2 panels on either side, prompting the artifact to vibrate at a low frequency. A central dial surrounded by small, indecipherable glyphs began to turn. As Ares twisted it, the vibration's pitch rose higher. We can't decode these symbols, he admitted. Everything about this discovery poses more questions than answers. Quan exhaled. At the heart of it all lies the Brotherhood of the Serpent. You and I both recognize their symbol carved into the temple wall, yet we have no record of the Brotherhood's involvement that far back in history. Ares nodded gravely. I agree. Atheros leaves for Atlantis in 2 days, and though I'd rather stay here, I'll need Atlantean and possibly Egyptian resources to help unravel this riddle. So I've decided to go with him. Quan placed a reassuring hand on Ares' shoulder. Should Atlantis or Egypt fail to shed light on it, then my advice is to travel to Eden. Their libraries may hold older texts that could reveal a clue, maybe even help translate the strange writing. A faint smile flickered across Ares' face. Eden. I've not set foot there since my studies. It's a long journey to India. I hope it won't come to that. The southern lands also might posit an answer. Their culture is the only existing one from that period, although they prefer to remain isolated. Quan motioned for Ares to let him see the device. After inspecting its underside, he pointed out 3 slender ridges that extended slightly. Maybe this piece is incomplete. Could it be part of a larger mechanism? Ares mulled that over. If so, why leave it on an altar alone? Why not place the entire contraption there? They exchanged a weighted glance, acknowledging they had only scratched the surface of the site's secrets. At Quan's urging, they descended the improvised wooden staircase that snaked along the canyon. From below, Ares glimpsed Olympus Mons looming in the distance. Just weeks ago, the volcano's fury had nearly erased Korubana from existence. The sight brought a renewed sense of humility. Reaching the canyon floor, they joined the swarm of researchers and workers who orchestrated the immense dig. The scene might have seemed chaotic at first, the clang of shovels, dust drifting in the air, voices calling for caution. Ares recognized the purposeful energy of an organized excavation. It lifted his spirits. He cherished archaeology for precisely this reason, the revelation of forgotten histories through human cooperation. The two men wove toward the temple entrance, the same towering door they had pried open when the canyon first formed. Now propped fully open, it served as the primary portal for the dig team. Within, several new sections had been exposed. They had even excavated parts of the windows, allowing shafts of natural light to spill into what had once been eternal darkness. Along the main hall, quartz lanterns cast a steady glow, ensuring no detail went unnoticed. Back at the central altar, Ares climbed the marble steps, taking in the sight with unflagging wonder. There, carved into the far wall, stood the great serpent coiled around its staff, leaping from the smooth stone as if urging them closer. Quan redirected his attention to another wall, revealing further carvings. They depicted the wheel of man exactly as we do today, Quan said softly, tracing the outline of concentric circles. Ares stepped nearer. We know so little about the people who lived before the last cataclysm. Were they as enlightened as the texts suggest? All we're sure of is that each age ended in near extinction repeatedly, across countless millennia. Quan's eyes followed the elegant lines etched into the wall. In one era, cataclysm came through floods or quakes, in another, through ice, and before that, fire. Our ancestors believed these events would keep recurring. We've carried their warnings down through the ages, but we rarely ask how or why or what else they might have known. Ares nodded. They recorded their warnings for a reason, passing them on for tens of thousands of years. Now we stand here, in a structure that predates our modern knowledge by eons. It's as though we're bridging a gap between their world and ours. Quan gave him a knowing look. Welcome to the Amazon. She has a way of making ancient history feel very much alive. I'll return when I've investigated this device further in Atlantis, Ares promised. You'll keep an eye on things here? Quan patted Ares' arm lightly. With my life. Good luck, my friend. Their gazes roamed back to the two carvings that hinted at a deeper enigma. The serpent coiled around a staff, echoing the Brotherhood's emblem, and the wheel of man, mirroring the cyclical view of human history shared by so many nations. Ares felt a stirring within himself, part curiosity, part resolve. He could almost sense that solving this puzzle might reshape their understanding of the past, and perhaps even the future.